Sometimes when dealing with tables, there is a requirement to merge cells together or even split cells into separate cells. Obviously, Word being an advanced word processing package, this is a capability it can manage. So if we take our data tables file and our population data, what we could do is insert a row above this top row. So we go to the Layout sub-ribbon, Insert Above, and that gives us an exact row above, so it's the same color scheme, but still 3 cells. If I then wanted to merge all 3 of those cells, I would highlight them, and then from the Layout ribbon, we have Merge Cells. One click, and that 3-cell item becomes a single large cell. So you can see that's now got one big cell, which will then allow me to create a title for our table. World Population Figures 2013, Top 6 Countries. That's one larger cell from 3 little cells, keeping the table nice and tidy. We could do the same again for our data table here. We insert a row above. It too replicates the row, same number of columns. But what I want to do then is highlight those cells and merge, so they become one big long cell into which I can again type a heading really. Staff list as prepared by the personnel department. Nice long title to demonstrate that we can be merged across. So it's a simple process of highlighting the cell or cells and merging. The merging can be done vertically as well. If I inserted to the left here, I could actually highlight all of those. Now notice when you insert, it does highlight them all and merge cells, and that will become one cell down the left-hand side, which I could narrow up and type something in here. So it's not just a horizontal merge, we can do vertical merges. If you try to merge a number of cells that have content, say for example we were to pick on these 3, just as a bad example, and merge, then all 3 bits of content get left in the new cell, but you'll see that there's a carriage return between them, so they end up on separate lines. But you can delete those, so they become the same line elements. But obviously then that takes away from the presentation reason for having the table, because it starts to look untidy. Now, also the converse, having been able to merge cells, we can also split them. So this one big cell here for 3, if I wanted to go back into 3, I could split it into 3 by going to Split Cells whilst I'm in the cell, because it's this cell here that I want to split. How many columns do we want? Well, it was 3, so I need to go back to 3 really. Okay, and it creates 3 columns. But what you'll notice is they don't quite match up to the existing columns. I would need to do that with a little bit of dragging manually there and there. I also need to put the data back into the right cell. So it doesn't do much of the work there for you when you split the cells. It's not really that recommended, but certainly the merging, a great feature for merging cells together to create these longer cells like the top one here for the heading or the left-hand side one here, so that we can put something down the left-hand side of every cell. Now once you've merged cells in, if you then insert rows and columns, you'll find that that doesn't break the merge. So say for example I were wanting to insert a column here between country and date of birth. How's that going to affect the merged cell at the top? Well, let's see. Insert to the left, we get our column in here, but then the column above doesn't merge, we get an extra column in there, which throws things out slightly, so we have to highlight both of those and merge those, just to maintain that presentation. So be a little bit careful when merging and certainly splitting cells that you don't end up with these mismatches like we did there. Like these columns ended up mismatched and the new column across the top ended up mismatched. There is always undo if you totally break things. So we can go back 2 steps to be back here. So the process is highlight a number of cells to merge them. So you highlight a number of cells, they could be blank or contain entries, and click Merge Cells. To split, you simply have a single cell and choose Split Cells, and then you'll be given a choice of how many rows and columns to split that cell into.